Okay, everyone that can hear us on Facebook and everyone that is here on this Zoom call, thanks for coming. Happy New Year to everyone. As I stated before we started streaming and recording, Keena is gonna do a presentation. I know it's centering and beginning with Happy New Year wishes to everyone. But he's an outstanding young man. He's a senior and he's one of our wonderful achievers and one of our wonderful NC 100 participants. So without further ado, Mr. Settle, I'm going to let you take it away. Got to unmute yourself.
Okay, so good morning, everyone. I would like to wish you all a Happy New Year and thank you for giving me this opportunity to So will everyone get out a sheet of paper? Preferably lined notebook paper.
Okay, he's got.
Today I just wanted to cover
notebook paper out, right? Everybody needs a piece of notebook paper, so let's follow the instructions. I got to get one too, right?
Yes, sir. It's not hard at all, I promise. All right. So today I just wanted to talk a little about goal making and what you expect in 2021, because a lot of us make New Year's resolutions, and this is about the 9th day into the year, and I have broke mine. I would not go into detail, but I have broke mine. So I'm not saying that you did that, but it's just easier for me to just go about what I expect to happen this year because I do not control everything that happens. So the purpose of this exercise is to learn how to create SMART goals and navigate through a diverse array of experiences. So for those of you who do not know, a SMART goal is a goal that is specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time bound. And we know rough year for police killing, celebrity attack, island students doing, or a civic education, locusts eating up plants in Africa, and the storming of the Capitol. So step in the is to write down 21 occurrences you expect to happen in 2021. So right here, I just have a list of verbs just to help start it. So adapt, attend, bestow, build, celebrate, challenge, create, establish, earn, experience, expand, graduate, grow, invest, identify, learn, maintain, network, obtain, purchase, read, receive, serve, tour, and win. So just to cover, invest doesn't necessarily mean find a company and put my life savings into their business. An investment can simply mean going and buying a book from the Dollar Tree that just teaches you skills that are relevant to whatever you would like to accomplish. You can use a verb more than once, but I would suggest you try to use a variety of them just to make sure that we are well-rounded. So at this time, we can just start jotting down 21 things that we expect to occur in 2021.
Not sure how everybody's coming along, but let's give it 3 or 4 more minutes. If anybody has any need for more time, let us know. But let's go to 11:21. Unfortunately, Don, Keenan has given us an assignment. You guys may not have time to do 21 occurrences that you expect to happen in 2021, but you can take a couple minutes. We got like 2 more minutes. So you can write down as many as you like, and they don't have to come from his list, but he wants verbs that you're gonna make something happen with those verbs in 2021.
Awesome. Sorry I'm late.
We have about 1 more minute left before we move on to the next step. All right, so our time for the first portion of this workshop has come to an end. Would anyone like to share a few of their goals or expectations that they set?
So since Keenan's sharing the screen, I can't see everyone, but if you would just unmute yourself or type into the chat box a couple of the things that you shared, that you wrote down on your paper, if you don't mind sharing them with us. I can go first, but if somebody else has anything they want to add, just unmute yourself, please. I can call on you, but I would rather you just share out. So being flexible, something I want to do, want to continue and improve upon doing. Being considerate, um, maintaining. I think that was maintain was something I like to make a high level important thing in 2021 because we're being tested so much. So just try to be good in the space that you occupy, which is yourself. Maintain yourself, and whatever may come, you'll be able to deal with it better. Um, and I'm always reading, so there's no need to change that one. Okay, thank you, Xavier. Find a job, finding more ways of being more helpful towards various people. Great, good stuff. Sydney says she wants to read more books. She wants to create her own short stories and books, and she wants to gain job experience. Those are all great goals to have in 2021. Um, the best writers, Sydney, are people who read. So you got the first part. You become a better writer by reading other people's works. So read more books and understand where you want to go with your craft and how you want to write. Michael says network and build. Absolutely. That's a continual process. That's something we talk about a lot here in this space. You have to be talking to people. You never know what conversation will take you to the place you want to go. So don't be afraid to have them. Eric says monitor. Yeah, watch out for yourself. Watch out for what's going on around you. Know what know what may happen, because if you're not paying attention, if you're not monitoring, then you might get caught off guard. So yeah, being someone that monitors is important. Establish my new tutoring business, becoming a new wife, serve on more boards within the county. Ms. Hensley has some outstanding goals. Thank you for sharing those. And the tutoring business sounds wonderful and necessary. Yes, Portia, establish a healthy space and establish boundaries. Yeah, don't overextend or overexert yourself, and be healthy in doing it, because you're no good to no one if you're not healthy. Good stuff. Absolutely.
Very good. Yes.
Oh, and Kelby says challenges herself to get out of her comfort zone. Wonderful. That is a big deal. Being uncomfortable is something we all wrestle with, especially when we're in new environments or we're doing something that we know is outside of our comfort zone. Push through. Don't jeopardize your mental health and space and well-being while doing it, but understand and be acknowledged when you're challenging yourself, because that's the only way you do something that you hadn't done before. And sometimes that gets you something you always wanted. So yeah. Go ahead, Keenan. I don't want to, if it's okay that I do that, I hope it
I know
was.
you're good.
All right.
Thank
So
you for that.
oh,
You got one more.
one more. Go ahead. You do it.
Oh, Miss Dawn Adams said that she would like to serve her community and grow in knowledge of how to serve her community. That is very good. Service is what we need the most during the. So the simple fact that you all are capable of coming up with those ideas mean that you all are capable of coming to fruition. So those expectations are all attainable and realistic. So step 2, I need you to turn your paper over, and then on the left side of your paper, write down the verb. So on the first slide, the example I had on the bottom was, I expect to identify my future career path. So the verb in that one would be identify. And then beside the verb, write at least 2 strategies that are relevant to achieving them. So identifying your career path would be taking a career aptitude quiz, exploring careers that correspond with personal interests, and research job salaries that pay your desired amount.
So Keenan is asking for actionable strategies, things that you can actually apply to reaching that verb that you wrote down. Am I correct, Keenan?
Yes, sir.
All right. So
So Xavier, one of yours could be find. Sydney, one of yours could be read. You may be able to establish how many books you would like to read this year. Mr. Harris, yours could just be network. Mr. Eric, yours could just be monitor. Ms. Hensley, yours could be established. And congratulations on becoming a new wife. And we do need more Black female representation on the board. Miss Pretty Good, established and establish again. Kel Good, challenge. And Miss Adams, serve is yours. And research reading, yes.
So if I'm going to say this should not take quite as long. So 11:30, 3 minutes. And if everyone finishes before then, maybe just put Finn into the chat box and we can continue. But good stuff, Keenan. Good stuff. Enjoying this.
Thank you.
All right, I think everyone should be finished at this point. Keenan, I'll go first again if I may, and I would even like to say if you have any advice to give me on what I've decided to make my verb and strategies, I would appreciate it. So I'll start. I'm going to work on being more considerate. That's the verb I chose, of being consideration. Uh, so listen more than I talk was one of my strategies, and to make some room for people's emotions.
Okay, those are very good. Those are excellent. I think we should all have those on our list because we do not live in this world by ourselves and we cannot live in this world by ourselves. So to be considerate, I would suggest you just try to really think about what you say before you speak it. Just your tone included and the words that you use so they won't be like misconstrued or anything like that. And another thing you can do is what I have found myself doing, I have to write what I say before I go say something. I'm not saying that like if I'm going to like check them on something, but I just have to write out so I will not deviate from my outline and stay focused and keep the conversation relevant. So would anyone else like to share their strategies? Ms. Hensley, how are you getting on more boards within the county?
So by the way, you're doing an excellent job. I just wanted to tell you that. So I decided that I needed to network more, plant my feet on the ground. I tend to be more of, this is kind of my group, so I stay within my group. So I have to kind of explore other options, other pathways, get to know more people, understand their way of thinking. I think that always helps. And kind of just put myself out there more.
So I think someone said something, or I know someone else said something, or who else said something about getting it out of the comfort zone. It may be Shelby, but one way that I got out of my comfort zone, so with me being a senior and this time next year I will be in college away from my family and friends, I made my schedule opposite from everyone else's. So if someone has class on like Tuesday, Thursday, I did the Monday, Wednesday, Friday section. And I didn't do that to be petty or mean or dismissive, but put myself out of my comfort zone, you know, getting out there, trying to establish that sense of independence will help us get to where we need to be.
Excellent.
Would anyone else like to share their strategies? Thank you.
Sure, I'll go ahead and share mine. Mine was schedule and my verb was write. And so I know me and Ms. Portia were just talking about this. We have in all my roles professionally, we have to create programming. So there's 1,000 ideas that you have, and writing those down, we're gonna do a better job at that. And I know me personally, I definitely need to just go ahead and write it down. So whether it's typing it out, or writing it on a notebook, just go ahead and writing those things down so I have them in some type of physical form.
That's good. So one thing you can do to help you with scheduling is you can get you a planner to write in, or you can use like the Google Calendar thing. Before the meeting popped up, I got like the Zoom link, a reminder for the meeting and stuff like that. So, and you and Ms. Portia, y'all can just text each other random facts back and forth. That's what I did with someone when we were in school and we had to create a project. I just said one word and they was like, what? And I was like, just give me a minute. So that would help. Would one more person like to share their strategy?
Good afternoon. Sure. Mine's is network. For 2020, I was more busy, but then I want to be more. If I'm busy in 2021, I want to be more effective in 2021 than just busy. So I want to make sure I get in where I fit in, not just at wherever I'm going. I want to make sure I'm being effective where I'm going and what I'm doing as I'm networking in 2021 and in life.
That's good. So have you asked yourself who you would like to network with?
God and I ask God.
Okay, that's good. That's a good answer. So the good thing about being specific and goal setting is that it gives you a reason why you want to do this, and it gives you the necessary steps so you will not be just going on the fly and end up worse than how you started. So I thank you all for sharing, and I trust that everyone else had great strategies to achieve their goals. So on the right hand of your sheet of paper, I need you to write the month and the year you will like the goal/expectation accomplished. So you do not have to set the time frame for this year. I understand that some things take time and we have other things to do this year, had to happen this year. You can delay the date or the year, more specifically.
Keenan, while we have a moment, I would love to hear from some of the youth on the line. You're doing a great job because you got responses from every adult, and that was pretty awesome.
Thank you.
Would love to hear from some of the youth. I know you addressed Kelby's desire to get out of her comfort zone, but I'm interested in hearing what her approach is and her strategy is for herself. If she can unmute, if Kelby, if you're still there, can you unmute yourself?
Yeah.
There you go. Thank you.
Okay. So my strategy.
Kelby.
Yeah. Okay. My strategies are to, instead of moving away from my fears, move toward them. Learn something new until I feel comfortable with it. Start the conversations because I normally don't start them. I let other people start them. And then just think of the positive outcomes instead of the negative, and don't stress too much about it. So those are my strategies.
Those are very good. Those are great.
I agree. What about you, Xavier?
Well, I had the idea of kind of just networking more with people who could help me find a job, or helping me find people who would be more so in need, and figuring out ways to help them if possible in the best way that I could, because I feel like being more active in the community that I am around is really important. So
you have some networking to do also. And if I may, Keenan, and if you have any words of wisdom, please share them. But I would say, Xavier, make sure you're specific as you can be in the endeavor that you're choosing, and speak to people that have experience in it, and that'll get you closer to whatever your choice job is, as opposed to just taking what's there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Miss Cherry, I would love to hear more about the reading and writing, and what are your strategies to doing so? I can't tell if she's still there or not, but all good. Go ahead and go to your next step if you can, Keenan, or just take the microphone back and make something happen.
Oh, okay, well, that's pretty much it. You having your expectation, ways to help them come to fruition, and then the time measurable aspect is you can just pretty much take it from there. So congratulations, and I trust that you all, Sherry, she said some of my prioritizing my time, taking my time away from that is very important. I budget my time because we all say time is money and we don't play about our money. So we should have the same attitude about time. So great job, everyone. And thank you all for giving me this opportunity.
Keenan, awesome job. I would clap if it didn't sound so terrible coming across on Zoom. So understand you get my applause. I really appreciate the job you just did. And Sydney, I want to give you a little praise for what you said. Take time away from your devices to drive your creativity. Absolutely. There is nothing but distraction on some of these things. You pick up your phone to do one thing, and the next thing you know, you're clicking on some social media site. It happens to all of us. That's what they're there for, to distract. So yes, take time away from them and do other things. Keenan had to take time away from him to do what he just did. So that's an awesome thing. We got instant proof. This was his baby, and he did an awesome job today with it. And I'm sure you had to take some time away from the fun things to do it. So I applaud you, Keenan. Thanks a lot. Portia, you want to say anything?
Yeah, Keenan, thank you so much. I called Keenan yesterday and asked him what should we do, and he did this in less than 24 hours. So obviously it's something that was definitely on his mind. Thank you for giving us a different perspective than from just setting the New Year's resolutions that we do. I love this goal setting and taking time to explore and looking at doing some personal inventory. And you just, you gave us goal setting 101, hit the SMART goals. You talked about every bit of it, but you presented it in a format that we all can appreciate. Like say, every adult said something, and I want to thank you for that. You have us all thinking, Keenan. Now, who was that? Sydney, you said something about taking time away from devices to drive my creativity. Felton and all the other adults here. Sounds like when I mentioned taking time to create a healthy space, I had to do that on Wednesday. A lot happened on Wednesday when they got ready to count the vote to certify the Electoral College results. I had to step back, create a healthy space for me. Instead of trying to unpack what I saw through social media, I just cut it off. You want to talk about that a little bit? How did it make you feel? Keenan, your eyes are getting big.
So definitely starting with the youth. I would love to hear from those that are able to speak. And Sydney, thank you for typing. But if you can also type in the chat, what Wednesday kind of moved in you? How did you perceive what was taking place at our nation's capital? And yeah, Portia makes a great point. Sometimes you got to turn the TV off, or the the device. We always are constantly stimulated by outside sources these days. Phone's going to beep and tell you that the world's ending, even if you have that on silent. So yeah, I want to hear from you guys about what your thoughts were on Wednesday. Keenan, you can begin since you're still with us and you got 8 more minutes, I think.
Okay. Well, after Ms. Portia just talked about that, my heart dropped. And yesterday when we were talking about it, she asked me, she said, "What do you think we're going to talk about tomorrow?" And I was very reluctant to acknowledge it because I am one who did not watch it either. I did not want to see that. And I mean, the clips that I did see, I was like, no, why are y'all posting this? Y'all know I do not want to be consumed by this. But it is very disheartening to know that this is where we are at. Like it was just an apocalypse of ignorance because you did not get your way in order to respect democracy. So you're going to sit and throw a temper tantrum. And that was not acceptable because those people are like twice and 3 times my age. And here I am, 17, and I will be 18 in about 2 weeks. But as of now, I am 17 and I have way more to lose. I cannot go to the mayor's office, let alone the US Capitol, and go in there, taking stuff, stealing stuff. I am humbly say that I am an Civics ambassador. I am the president of my school's charter of the National Honor Society. I am an appointed member of the YMCA as a global committee of diversity and inclusion, and I represent my church as well. So I cannot go out there acting on my emotions because I am displeased with other people's choices that they made.
Well said. You're definitely aware of your standing in your community, and you would not jeopardize that on a whim, especially for something that does not require that level of activity. Well said. Kelby, what were your thoughts on Wednesday? If you comfortable sharing them?
I don't know what to say. Yeah, I'm not sure on what to say.
It's
Like
okay.
how to put it into words.
Yeah, I mean, it was that type of moment, so I completely understand if something comes to you, and there's no force. This is we're wrapping up, but we wanted to hear from the youth in terms of this is you guys' country too, and you know, I got more behind me than in front of me, so to speak, in terms of years. So, what did you guys perceive from Wednesday in terms of what your country's about? So, I think it's worth hearing you guys' perspective because you have some time to address the ills that we witnessed, and I would love for you guys to be active in doing so. Yes.
You know, I just want to say on this note that, you know, coming from a totally different perspective than a lot of people, I worked for many years, since about 1999, on the National Special Events Committees. So I come from a totally different perspective, and I know the hard work, the many hours, all of the organizations that come together to put processes into place and SOPs. So there is a process, and just to see every last one of those processes broken on Wednesday for a certain group of people, it just really disheartened and sickened me, to say the least. But it was not how those processes are supposed to work and how those different groups are supposed to work. They do work together like a well-oiled machine. Anytime we have any type of event of any kind, especially when you have POTUS involved, there are a lot of things that go into play for that, and we didn't see that. So for me, I really felt like that was an inside job, knowing what I know. So, you know, to see the difference between how we're treated as opposed to how this played out on Wednesday, there's just no words that I can really express to how disappointed I was. But, you know, we were told, if you were listening, you were told how this all was going to play out. And I think that we still have to be worried about the next couple of weeks. Thank you, guys.
Ms. Adams, I appreciate your insight and giving your professional background. Really think it's awesome that you're able to share with the youth on the line that this is not a norm. So you guys have intimate knowledge from someone who worked in an environment that this is not something that should or was supposed to or is okay that it happened. This is outside of the norm. So glad that you're able to share that with us in this space. Sydney Cherry said she thinks it says a lot about the state of the world. She sent me a message and she's saying if someone's opinion or belief is different from yours and you don't agree with them, then you're automatically wrong. So she's speaking about the divisiveness that exists in this country and the absolutes that people have resigned themselves to in terms of my right is better than your right, and that makes you wrong. And there's no common ground. There's no conversation outside of the absolutes. So yeah, I think that's a good observation, Sydney. Yeah, Mr. Harris, glad that they're witnessing it, and you know we're more knowledgeable about politics probably as a citizenry than we ever have been because it's become almost entertainment. It's everywhere. It's always in our face, and we know that's what happens when you get a celebrity in chief. What you got something you want to say, or Eric? Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I wanted to, and thank you for that. What you just said, the way you ended that comment, Mr. Felton, is very correct. But I wanted to let you all know and encourage you, as Mr. Felton has and Ms. Portia have, to keep talking about these issues, keep discussing them, talk about them with your friends, because being very careful what I say. From an educational standpoint, there are now lots of efforts of individuals who don't want your teachers to bring this up in classrooms and talk to you about what happened on Wednesday. And so given that, I always say no one should force their political opinions on others, but a healthy, balanced conversation is always amazing. And so push for that right in your classrooms to have those conversations about these issues. Please do it, because from what I'm experiencing and seeing, there's a lot of pushback on even bringing this issue up and talking about this in your classroom. So keep it active and speak your mind about it any chance you get.
And that sort of takes us to sometime during the course of the year, and probably sooner than later, we are going to do a Civics 101 so you can have a better understanding of what democracy is, how government works, just social activism, looking at how the media plays out on certain situations, the spin on media. So prepare yourself and get ready. We are going to create that safe environment here for you to be able to do that. I know a lot of things are off limits at school, but we want to make sure that you have that healthy balance that's necessary in order for you to become informed citizens and productive adults as you move forward in life.
Sounds great. Looking forward to some of those meetings in the future. Hey, the more you know. As we wrap up, want to go around the room and hear from the youth about what their takeaways were from the day. Any other things they want to share based on Keenan's exercise. Keenan, again, if you're still there and you got a moment, I'd like to begin with you. I know you were the head of this exercise today, but I also want to know if there's anything that you want to share before we get out of here.
I would like to thank you all again. I'm very humbled to be. Secondly, if you would like to have your voice heard on the national scale, the iCivics ambassadors and I are a national listening. So the link, but the only detractor to that is you can be a middle school student to an undergrad. But if you would like to support our initiative, you can still share it with anyone that you know who meet those qualifications. But I just think it is very imperative that we do get out of our comfort zone individually and as we like socialize with others. And we can just remember that our humanity is not up for debate, since we were talking about like our political differences and stuff like that. But we can debate that, but our humanity is not up for debate. I will not compromise my humanity to appease someone else's fragility.
Well said. Appreciate that, Keenan. Sydney, you can type a message about your takeaways for the day if you don't mind. Xavier, I'm coming to you next. What did you get from today's session?
I think my biggest takeaway from today is the idea of knowing how to set a goal the proper way. I would like to say thank you to Keenan for kind of pushing out, giving us a way to do it in a very healthy and positive way. Another takeaway is that everything that's happening at the Capitol, it's a very stressful situation. Whenever I saw stuff like on it, because I personally would like to see more, I would like to look at it more, see like what people are doing, because I remember not even 6 months ago, it was an issue for our people to go out and walk. And when we were frustrated for something that in my eyes was deeper than what was happening at the Capitol, it was a problem. But now, because they're doing it, it's the right thing. So it's a very hypocritical situation in my eyes. So I'm gonna get off my horse, but yeah, that's just, I guess that's just my takeaway from today.
Hey man, good observation. It flies in our faces and we have to acknowledge it, and that was well said. Hypocrisy needs to be announced and recognized when it occurs in your presence. So I appreciate it, and you said it well. Couldn't have said it better myself, Xavier. Good stuff. Kelby, takeaways?
Today I'm leaving with new strategies on how to step out of my comfort zone, and I've learned the SMART acronym on how to set goals properly, thanks to Keenan. So I want to say thank you for that, because before I didn't know, how to set goals, but now I do. So I wanted to say thank you. So yeah.
Right. We appreciate it. Sydney says she learned about the importance of taking the initiative for our goals. Yeah, you can set a goal, and if you're not actionable in accomplishing it, then what good is the setting of it? So you have to be proactive. You have to be actionable. You have to actually take the steps to execute something. That's the strategies that Keenan was talking about in the exercise. Thanks, all of the youth on the line. Eric, Portia, anything you guys want to add before we wrap up? Ms. Hensley, anybody have anything else they want to add before we wrap up?
I just want to say, oh yeah, I'm off mute. Keenan and Xavier, you all participated in Youth in Government. Because you have been a part of the political and democratic system, how has this affected you? Do you feel like you could come up with a bill or something to talk about what has happened, to address what has happened in our political system?
In all honesty, I don't know, because a lot of the questions that we get at Youth in Government is when it comes to public, I'll say architecture, because and on face value, it was vandalism. It was vandalism, murder, excuse me, and just assault. And so the questions that I would look at, or that I think we would get, would be, so what about the Confederate statues around the United States and stuff of that nature? So like, how would we handle that compared to the Capitol? But making a bill on it, it would probably be more of a, I don't know. I think it would be a good idea, but the deeper it would go, it's the logistics of it all, it would probably cause more issues for the people who would vote on it, because the bigger portion of the population at Youth in Government, I would say, is probably a Republican white base. So them looking at it would kind of just be like, well, what's your point? So them seeing what they saw at the Capitol might be more justified than us saying, well, you did it too, but I don't know how to word it, but I think like,
At least
but
you're
yeah,
thinking about it.
yeah,
That's the main thing.
it just reminds me of the first year we went. It was kind of just like, there was just a lot of stuff that happened that just reminded us of like racial inequality and things of that nature. But we were able to come back the next year and the year after that, and hopefully this year, and we had bills passed because we learned from our mistakes and our setbacks, and we got better at it. So I don't know.
For the people that don't know, youth and government is it's a YMCA program. It's a YMCA program. It's a national program, but we also have a program that's state supported. And you have a group of students that go to Raleigh every year. They write bills, they examine briefs, and they present to their peers. So this just sort of gives them a deeper dive into what's happening with the political system and what it takes to get a bill passed.
And I'll say the comments that you made are a perfect example of somebody that has gone to the program and has taken something from it and has been purposeful with you being there, because you understand the heft and the work that goes behind writing a bill, right? And unfortunately, a majority of Americans do not understand what it takes to write, propose, and have a bill passed. They just don't get it. They don't understand the lawmaking process, and you do, and that's a huge edge to have. I'm telling you, and it provides a sense of clarity. So, congratulations! I'm really proud that you have that understanding that goes with what happens.
Awesome! I applaud you.
Yeah, very well said once again, Xavier. How old are you now, Xavier? Are you a senior yet?
Yes, sir. I am a senior in high school at the Rockingham Early College, and I will be 18 in February.
Okay, so yeah, you may have to join us on a Thursday night conversation once you hit 18. Some of the things you're alluding to, I've wrestled with the ideas surrounding white privilege, and I've come to a conclusion that it is a sense of entitlement, but it's also an appeal to certain sensibilities in those spaces because they're heavily represented there. And that puts them in a position, not necessarily of willful ignorance, but of the ability to not have to wrestle with or understand where you come from or where we come from. So we've got to be represented better in those spaces so that those bills and that legislation that passes is considerate of our circumstances. So I hope that you continue along the track of becoming involved politically with the ideals that you are expressing to us here, because they need to be heard in those spaces. So thank you for sharing that out. I think Sydney gave us hers. All the youth have shared what they are taking away today. All of the adults on the line, come join us on Thursdays. I think you'll get some of this. It's just a more adult version, and it's a little bit more laid back. And we welcome you guys. Miss Adams, please. I would have loved to have had you on this past Thursday when we were talking about everything that took place in DC. So next Thursday. Everyone, Happy New Year. The first week of the new year is behind us, pretty much. And I'm glad to still be able to visit in this space and to have conversations and to be inspired by the youth that participate here. Thank you all for being diligent and participating here and being resilient. I appreciate it. Anybody else have anything they want to say before we get out of here? Thank you all. Everyone have a wonderful day. Enjoy the post-snow sun, because it's pretty nice out right now. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful day. Everybody take care.